nation, and of course, the kind of nation that we are all proud of good people and a great nation. This nation called Nigeria. That is why we do these every weekday. And of course, Zom says, good morning. How do you do?
Good morning, family.
Yeah.
I'm all right. And you?
Very well. Up and grateful.
Yes.
Very well.
Up and grateful.
Right.
I remember when that was trending.
Yeah.
Good morning, dearest viewers. I am Zom Sikechukwu, and today is Thursday. And we welcome you to another day of morning spring. So stay back and enjoy yourselves, because we have packed up events, packed up talks, packed up conversations for you to enjoy.
And of course, if you are ready, we are. Good morning. And of course, as we usually do, we first look at the headlines from our major dailies, and I will be starting with The Guardian newspaper. The Guardian for today. Anxiety as execution of federal government free cesarean section initiative stalls. Again, anxiety as execution of federal government's free cesarean section initiative stalls. And you have some riders to that. Data of potential beneficiaries, facilities stall planning and rollout. Initiative to cost federal government between 200,000 naira and 300,000 naira per delivery. And here, pregnant women, care workers unaware of modalities. And NMA, NARD's Lord Initiative urge inclusion of private medical facilities. And on that particular story, you have the picture of the president, that of the minister of health, and other gentlemen there. You know, when this story, first broke, we here were part of the people that commended the initiative. But then many persons were wary of the modalities. How is this going to work? When you're talking about federal government's free cesarean section initiative, okay, meaning if push come to shove and you have to carry out a CS section on a woman, of course, obviously on a woman, then by the intervention of the federal government, that will be free. And that costs money, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's between 150 and 300, depending on where you're having it.
Yeah,
actually.
depending.
So if you will have that kind of a burden taken off you as a family, that will really go a long way.
Yeah,
in fact, the 150 or 200 or 300 you are supposed to spend, you have it saved somewhere. In fact, that will go a long way in taking care of the baby, at least for the first 1, 2, 3 months, or getting baby accessories. But the question is, good initiative, granted. How is this going to work? Now, we have been told that even some pregnant women and care workers are unaware of the modalities, means they don't know how this will work. Are they supposed to go to hospital and say, okay, there are cesarean sections that are optional. Some choose it.
Yes.
There are some that is scientific, that you don't have a choice to save the mother and the baby, or at least the mother, because that's the most important person in that operation, is the mother first. The baby is always secondary, and that's the way it is. It's only a mother that can push a baby, or that is alive that can birth a baby, obviously. But to save the mother and the baby, or whatever the case is, it takes that process. And just like you said, some, that is the last resort. They don't have a choice because of life, actually. Some are optional. Okay, those ones who choose it because they don't want to go through the pain of pushing and all of these things, will they be part of it? The ones that it's compulsory that they have it, according to science and according to their doctor's advice. Okay, so how do they go about it? Which hospitals will be covered? And these are some of the things. And sometimes you see people in government roll out laudable initiative. Okay, like the last subsidized transportation during the Yuletide. Is neither here nor there. Is it that you are just lucky?
Hear it, and it doesn't. You don't really have good facts, no grounds, nothing.
You don't even know. It's not even about fact. You don't know how to go about it. Who is
it
administering
the federal
what?
hospitals? Is it the state hospitals? Are they in collaboration with some private hospitals? No, nothing is out.
I'm not even sure private facilities are among, because the Nigerian Medical Association and the Association of Resident Doctors, they have lauded the initiative and they are urging the inclusion of private hospitals. But the ones that are public, either state or the federal level,
what are the modalities?
Are covered. Where are you supposed to go? Because some persons in the hospital might even tell you, I don't know what you are talking about. And actually, these are some of the things. And I think this gives rise to that call again, that before government at any level will bring out any policy,
initiative,
make sure you have thought. Don't tell us at the stage of thinking. If actually they think, I'm sorry to say that, but the stage of conception, you just feel this is a good initiative and then you roll it out. It doesn't work that way. Think about it, go through the modalities, let every critical stakeholders in that ecosystem be aware of what is going to happen and how it's going to work. By the time you announce to the public, everything is done. And the following day, or you give a date and say, okay, this is what we are planning. From this
time, that's when it's going to begin.
By June 2025, then people will be aware. Yeah. They know that by June, and by that June 1st, you don't go to the hospitals and you are confused. Everything is there.
You already know where to go to.
Come with this document and show us that the people at this level. And I think that's the way a serious nation should work.
Yeah.
Not the one that will not give rise to people circumventing, because you still see some unscrupulous element circumventing the process because the whole process no clarity.
This is one thing that our government should actually work so much on, because we are used to this thing in Nigeria. Most times when people see this kind of things, they'll be like, oh, let me just go and do what I want to do because
they're not sure. Nobody wants to be pushed around.
It's always when you get there, and especially when this free something comes in, people start looking at you like you're a beggar. That's the kind of mentality.
And they treat you like one.
Yeah, that's the kind of mentality that.
Well, is it the free one you are looking for?
Go this way.
Stay here.
Stay here. Wait here. Go and meet this person.
Or they won't even attend to you.
We really need to do a lot of work, even at the government level, even as humans.
Human to human. I said it as well. Even when some policies are being rolled out, there's still that human factor in some persons that will just want to mess it up. And you will see somebody on one table tell you, oh, that process is not free. You still have to pay something. And that thing might not be true.
Is another thing.
But because you are not even sure, nobody is giving you adequate information about what to do. That is absolutely free or is subsidized, or you are supposed to.
Femi, the ones you are paying for. Even when you're sure, when you get there, the government is not there. Even when you're sure you get there, they tell you if you don't pay a certain amount, you're not going to attend to you. You won't have a choice. Yeah, you won't have a choice because imagine your wife is already due for it and she has to go through this section and they're telling you have to pay. You just look at it and be like, okay, but so 300,000 and I have to pay 20,000. Just do it.
And that 20,000 or any amount might be illegal.
Of course.
But there is nobody that you are going to tell. There is a desk in every public institution called Servicom. I'm afraid that desk is. Don't let me be categorical, but it's almost dead. It's almost dead as anything, because I've had somebody who at a Servicom desk in a particular government institution, he was behaving like somebody who's supposed to be Servicom, somebody whose people's complaints supposed to get to, and it will be to want to investigate, is the one even behaving like a nuisance in that particular place. And I have proof for what I'm saying. So these are some of the things. You talk about the National Orientation Agency, NOA. What are you orientating? Servicom, we just talked about here. Many of these things that people will have the confidence to come to you and say, the service I've gotten is not what it's supposed to be. And somebody will be good and magnanimous enough to say, Madam or Sir, we are sorry. Give us the detail. We'll look into it.
Sometimes have you even met them on seat?
Have you seen the Servicom box? There is this box.
Yeah, it's always a box.
The things are dusty as anything.
Sometimes have you even met them on seat?
All right. But then it's a very good initiative.
Yeah,
but the workability is always the issue, because I'm not sure by now everybody, or even we on this table, as informed as we are, you can be sure that go to a particular hospital, that thing has started. You don't know if it has started. You don't know if it has not started. You don't know if it's a state hospital thing or a federal government hospital thing. And which particular place are you supposed to go to? Or you just get to the front gate of the hospital and you told the security, we are here for CS, and then where should we go to? In fact, those ones, It's a lot. Actually, we need to do better. Good plans, but let the workability be easy and not ambiguous at all. Here, federal government criticized over jumbo perks for military politicians, others. All right, these are some of the issues. Saw that news yesterday or 2 days ago in which retired generals will be given some mouth-watering,
offers or
package,
yeah,
when they are through with their service, this kind of vehicle, that kind of allowance, and this and that, and people are reacting. Students stay away in Calabar despite school resumption. Why? You want to pick up a copy of this paper to know why. EFCC detains probes 10 operatives from Lagos Command for theft. Please go ahead and purge yourself of unscrupulous element. No plan to revive Nigeria air deal with Ethiopian Airlines. Federal government clarifies. Nigeria Air, interesting one. National Assembly condemns poor 2024 budget execution, demands urgent reforms. I'm not sure who these persons are talking to, because even the president, the number one that came to submit, or to present the 2025 appropriation bill, did he come and talked about his budget performance for 2024? Because that's the way it's done in nations of the world. When you are coming to drop something, then you should talk about the accountability of the previous one that you had. He's not there. And the National Assembly is being reported to condemn poor 2024 budget execution, and you are not going to start with the number one. I'm not sure we are ready for that conversation. And that's why many Nigerians will say, stop playing to the gallery, excuse us, do what you are supposed to do. The president was granted, his budget proposal was worked on for 2024. And I'm not just talking about Tinubu, every president, successive and the ones that will come after now. The moment you are coming for the next budget, the running one that you have, you should come and say, this is what we have done.
This is what we've done.
Budget performance, 70%, 90%, and all of these things. That's where it's going to be. Imagine you have a worker or an employee who comes to submit a proposal for next year. You will ask him, what have you done with this year? Exactly. So that you know what to do next year. And anybody in place of power, they are Nigerians' employees. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nigerians are the employers. We are the ones. You are the ones.
The way it's supposed to be.
And I think it's not too hard. We can actually get back to that. National Assembly condemns poor 2024 budget execution, demands urgent reforms. And here, bottom stream telcos get tariff hike as federal government receives sustainability report from KPMG. And Adedikwe Bismarck project murders 27% inflation rate by year end. And that will be all from The Guardian for today.
And from The Guardian, we'll move to The Punch this morning. Federal government 9 billion naira e-border project fails to stop bandits, illegal aliens. And we have the writer there. Illegal Niger, Cameroon immigrants infiltrate Jigawa, Taraba, others, borders automated, insists Interior Minister. I think this is part of the things we talked about yesterday, insecurity.
Yeah.
Well, and we have a picture there of an aircraft. We have Air Chief celebrates NAF engineers for reviving moribund aircraft. You see the pictures, we have the aircraft, you can see it in air, and we have some NAF officials there. So now we have tension rises as gunmen kill 18 in Imo communities. Tension rises as gunmen kill 18 in Imo communities. EFCC detains 10 officers for stealing cash, gold exhibits. We have been saying this. The officers would love to see them arraigned too, the same way they arraign others.
Exactly.
So actually see their faces. It to be what would I call it now? It to be something that it to be a form of faith, a show of faith.
Yeah,
Nigerians would have to increase their faith in the EFCC. Okay, if they can do this to the officers, that means it's a good one. We have backbiters behind my kangaroo impeachment. Makinde's ex-deputy. Okay. Emefiele loses bid to stop $4.5 billion, 2.8 billion naira fraud trial. Okay. Ganduje tackles Obi as APC spokesman receives 200 death threats. Okay, I think this month is a month of threats. Death threat. I think in December we had the defamation, left, right, and center.
But this particular one is just between two individuals.
Yeah, and it has been going back and forth, back and forth.
Accusation and counter-accusation.
So I've caught orders for feature of 228 million naira linked to ex-governor Orji. Okay. And the last story there on the Punch this morning, Japa, Aberu, Eba, 17 other Nigerian words added to Oxford Dictionary. I saw this yesterday and I was so elated. I felt this sort of joy, like, oh, really? Nigerians, that means we're getting somewhere. If our words can actually be featured in the Oxford Dictionary, that's a good one. I saw a long list of them. And I'm like, even some of them I have not heard actually. That means I'm not even into this. Okay, but Japa, we really know that we use that a lot. People are Japaing out of the country. Japaing left, right, or center. So that's actually a good one. Aberu. Some people don't know how to pronounce it. And they said the pronunciation has been put there for those that are non-Nigerians to be able to, do that. It's actually a good one. That's it. Truly, it is a good one. So that's all on the Punch this morning. All
right. Some of those words will be screaming for their lives. You got them. Jakba, Agbiru. All right. Eba. Okay. Nigeria was added to Oxford Dictionary. We are very interesting and, trend setting, pace setting kind of people. We are very eloquent and we know the way we move around with our words. All right, away from the Punch, let's go. So then Vanguard for today. Vanguard newspaper. Boldly written here, and it calls for concern. State raised to build airport as hunger bites harder. State raised to build the airports as hunger bites harder, with riders. As hunger ravages the land, governors compete to build airports, spend 181 billion naira. An airport built by state not viable, experts, ex-FAA and MDs, and note revenue generated can't maintain airports, which puts more burden on FAAN. And ask federal government to stop granting licenses to governors on airport development. And this, if you look at critically, I think it's something worth looking into. State governors, many of them that you can really, sometimes when you interrogate deeply, you feel, why is there a rush? The urgency to have airports in your state. A state that the education is not where it's supposed to be, a state that the budget is not even up to what it's supposed to be, a state that is still having, some states are having issues with salary payment. Yeah. And you see the governors go around says he wants an airport in his state. Most of our leaders, they crave what you call legacy project, so that by the time they have left, people can say, oh, it's this individual that did this. Even when that project will not be the one that will be useful
immediately.
Yeah. Like, so that we don't put, some states up, you look at, you're setting them up for drugs rather. But there are some states, you just look at them and you feel, what's the business of the state with airport? Because possibly their next door neighbor or the other state has a functional airport. What is the distance between that airport and possibly that particular state capital? And how commercialized is that particular state? What business are you having in that state, that requires that, okay, foreign investors need places. If the foreign investors, what's the FDI, foreign direct investment, in that particular state? After
they erect such structures, they just end up being locked up. They're not in use because
there are some airports that they've not really witnessed anything significant in the last 1 year after they were commissioned.
After using so much money to do that, whereas we had lots
and they
of
borrow.
Exactly. We have lots of things that essential needs of human life that could actually be looked into. We're talking about airports.
Airports, which is a good one, but the question is, does this state require? Do they need airport? Because Vanguard is saying state race to build airports as hunger bites harder. Is it hungry people? There are some persons that have never been to airport in their life. Majority of Nigerians have never been to airport to travel, except they are working there. Some persons are even working there. They have never traveled.
Some persons have not even used company buses to talk of going to airports.
These are some of the things. If your state can afford it and there is need for it, fine. But these everybody just wants an airport. And even if anything commercial won't fly in that place for 5 years, they don't mind. Let it just be said that that particular state have an airport, and it's done mostly on borrowed funds. These are the issues. And below that, you have the president, Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, the governor of Ogun State, Akwa Abiodun, his counterpart in Lagos, Jide Sanwo-Olu, and the chairman, Access Holdings, son of the celebrant, Aiboje Emukoje. This is a function here that has these gentlemen and ladies as well. Moving away from that, Obi, I have received over 200 death threats. APC spokesman Moka. Death threat is now like sachet water that is being seen at every corner. We'll look into that in the course of the program. And we want to dignify Moka's claim with response, obedience. And here, influx of bandits will be checkmated. Police Amotekun commanders OPC, an alleged $2.1 billion fraud. Court strikes out abuse of office charge against Emefiele. And on the sporting scene, rage over Super Eagles' new coach. And Mr. and Mrs. there, Mrs. Talking here, what's wrong in getting rid of a property if it becomes an economic threat to our family, or threat rather? Dog food has become very expensive. And Mr. responds, so are we selling the dog or we are eating it? All right. Because when you want to get rid of a particular economic threat, and that dog is the one that is being the threat on that family, you should decide, are you selling or you are eating? Okay. All right, that will be all from the Vanguard. Okay, before that, businessman asked court to reverse sale of his 43 million shares to telecom firm and agreed from Almajiri School to become CEO of NNPCL. Interesting testimony time for Mele Kyari. Okukwe apologizes to Kyari over past comment on NNPCL, and Wike Fubra others should work with Atta-led committee Pandev, and federal government would have approved 100% tariff increase for telcos. Minister, that's all from the Vanguard.
And we move to the Daily Trust this morning. We have Nigeria to UN, probe Boko Haram's funding, training. And the writer there says CDS, as Chief of Defense Staff, suspects international conspiracy. And we have some part of the story on the front page, which we can actually do that. So you want more details on that story, pick up a copy of the Daily Trust. You can see pictures there of people that have been rendered homeless, children rendered homeless from the whole insurgency. And we have driver nabbed with 59 trafficked children in FCT.
Thank God.
Wow. Okay. So driver nabbed with 59 trafficked children in FCT. That's a really good one. What is he doing with 59 children? 25% implementation of 2024 budget unacceptable, National Assembly. Okay. China approves $255 million loan for Kano-Kaduna Railway project. We're in with the loan again this year. Okay. Policeman accepts Islam 2 years. Policeman accepts Islam 2 years after rejecting $200,000 bribe. Okay, $200,000 bribe. That's a good one. We have federal government hints at new national career. Federal government hints at new national carrier. Yeah. Expect tariff hike from telcos soon, Minister. Expect tariff hike. But I say I've already started experiencing mine. I've already seen mine.
The disruption?
Well,
you mean the disruption?
Not. I mean the hike.
Okay, all right. From your end, right?
Yeah, but oh well, we're still looking. Well, if we say expect, we're still trying to see, hoping to see that it won't be as bad as, like they said, it's not going to be 100%, but let's be hopeful, and we'll be waiting to see what will actually come out of this. Yeah. Okay, and the last story this morning on the Daily Trust, we have 11 killed, 31 houses razed in Jigawa ethnic crisis. Now, this is not terrorists. This is not bandits. This is ethnic crisis. Yeah. Like, what exactly are we fighting for?
Well, people have their opinion and will defend whatever they think is worth defending. But the question is it worth fighting for? Like, is it worth healing for? We need to do better as humans and
11
decide
killed.
If we are going to really live together. 11 human lives lost.
It's really a sad one.
It is.
We should really work on ourselves. Now we've been talking about bandits, terrorists, and all the rest. Now we are the ones fighting ourselves in a particular community. Ethnicity. How? What? Let me just stop it. Let me just hold it off at that, because I'm already feeling so enraged with the whole idea and thought of it.
All right.
And that is all on the newspaper segment this morning.
Right. And we'll take a break right now. When we return, we speak to issues. There is a lot to unpack this morning. And of course, we are ready. And it's for the public good. You will be very interested.